way, people get, and that's what all 4 of my riders got into. And it's exciting, I can see the most common problem people are dealing with, but that's the most common problem. They are asking their horses in an indirect rein cue. So let's just go ahead, you turn right here with me, and I'm using an indirect rein cue, which is a neck rein type of a cue. I'm asking the horse to move. And as I bring my hand here to the right, okay, no, you don't move, it's okay. Let's just watch what way the bit goes, right? Okay, I asked my horse to turn to the right, but who could notice what way did that bit go? Who saw?
Yeah, it's the way the horse turns nose out.
Ah, the bit went to the left. So how do we do that, right? How do we take our horses from a direct rein pull, where we pull here and ask them to go and they go, to an indirect rein cue, but yet the principle of an indirect rein cue is that we ask them to move off the neck rein, but the act of having an indirect rein or neck rein cue in itself communicates and pulls the outside bit shank and pulls its head the wrong way. Then we're frustrated and they don't want to turn, so we bump it back to here and we fight them and we kick them with this outside leg, and then they want to hop up and down. Anybody here ever had that happen to them? Raise your hand if you did. A lot of people, right? And guess what? It's normal. It's not just you. You're not doing wrong. That's why you're here, because I'm going to explain some things to you. So, before your horse is ready to be ridden in an indirect neck rein cue, our ideal goal in this is to have such a full understanding of following the direction of pull we give with our hands. In other words, following the nose. The most basic principle we teach a young horse. You ask your horse to make a right turn, you're going to pull that nose to the right and make a right turn. You lead them in a halter, you pull their head left, their body follows their nose. They're out in the pasture, out in the wild, they turn, they go the direction they turn, okay? So when you're pulling a nose in the wrong direction and you're kicking and spurring and fighting them, you're not being really fair to that horse. And a lot of people don't know what else to do because that's where they're at, you know. And so what we want to start with is making sure our horse has a full understanding of following the nose. Of that when I ask my horse with my inside rein to make a right turn, that horse brings their nose on around and heads to the right, okay? Then we start applying this principle of indirect rein with a direct rein cue, which you can do together. And all of my young horses, as we're riding them, say we start them in the snaffle, we get them very limber, and that's something I have on a lot of my videos. I have a lot of flexion exercises, ways you can make them limber and responsive to that direct rein cue. But then you start adding a little indirect rein cue. So I'm going to be on a baby colt, and I may just pull their head to the right, push them on forward, open that door with my hands. But then I want to close up that turn a little bit and ask them to start learning to turn on the haunches or come off this rein. So I'm giving my direct rein cue, leading with my direct rein, but then coming here and reinforcing with my indirect rein. Understand? That's introducing in a baby version the principle that the indirect rein means to move off of it. But why it's so important that you're here listening to how correct hands play a part is because if you're in this shank bridle, and say you're not a horse trainer, you just want to ride your horse, and say that horse is in the bridle, and that horse is something that's been ridden one hand and all that, but that's when it's just critical that you understand your direction of pull and how to use your hands. So let's talk a little bit about that. A snaffle bit, as I told you, you pull this way or that way, very simple mechanism. A shank bridle, however, actually works the best to bridle their head when you come in a direction of pull like this. So let's come for so the shank bridle, the snaffle bit works on the tongue and the corners of their mouth. The shank bridle will work on the roof of the mouth, the tongue, and the chin strap. And in a minute, I'm going to go into how you know if your bridle is more severe or not as severe, dependent on how it's made. And I'll go into that. However, when you are on a shank bridle, and you are asking your horse to yield in the face or bridle their head, let's watch this mouthpiece. How can I make this mouthpiece independently rotate? As I come in this direction, I'm applying the principle and the technique of how this bit was made. Do you understand that? This bit was made like this. When I go to two hands, and not to say you can't, guys, in a shank bridle, I just want you to understand how your direction of pull. So first of all, did everyone see my mouthpiece rotate forward? No? Let me walk, come on, let's come forward a little bit so you all can see. I want to make sure you all see. Yeah, let me turn around this way. I want everybody to see. So as I bring, you're going to make my hand tired. So here I am on a horse. Don't want my elbow like that. I'm riding, and this is my correct way I bridle or ask. Do you see that this is moving on the roof of their mouth and actually engaging, right? That's why we have a port or a mouthpiece. Like, why do they have a port? Well, when you see riders that are abrupt or cruel come here like this, right? That port of the mouth, that mouthpiece, some people think a high mouthpiece is extremely cruel, and believe me, it can be cruel. But a higher mouthpiece is made to rotate and touch the roof of their mouth. Whereas if the direction of pull is correct, and the direction of pull meaning here, that's how you ride a shank bridle. Notice that's how I apply the mechanisms. Do you guys want me to walk down so you can see it too? As I softly let my bit do the work, and I use my reins in my hands, that bit rotates forward and actually connects with the roof of the mouth and the horse's mouth, right? So as we're teaching those young horses, and we were starting out direct pull, reinforce indirect pull on there, we go into a shank bridle like this, guys, and let me tell you, the interior of your horse's mouth, every horse has a different interior of their mouth. There's horses with thick tongues. There's horses with shallow, long mouths, shallow, short mouths, wide mouths. I have two daughters. Both needed braces. One needed braces to close them in because there's a big gap in there, and the other needed braces to expand because their mouth was so narrow and shallow, right? Your horse's mouths are made differently also. So looking at a bit and making sure it fits, making sure that bit's not too short here, but also seeing how comfortable they are in it. The signs of whether they're comfortable or not in that bit might be, they might be gnashing their teeth. They might be opening their mouth a lot. If you're just standing there and they're wearing that bit, and they want to move and operate the bit for a while, that's okay. But after a while, if they're looking upset, opening their mouth and cocking their head, very possibly that bit doesn't fit them well. And if you don't know, you should really ask an expert or a trainer, because I'm just here to tell you, bit fit is a huge subject. It's an hour-long clinic in itself or longer, and I just can't throw it all in there. And I'm trying so hard to show you how your hand position and the bits affect your horse's body and body position. But here we have a baby snaffle, because right, think of a kid in first grade. It's real simple. We're going to add 1 plus 1, or 5 plus 5, or whatever, whatever level they're at. Then we go into multiplication. Then we go into more advanced, or we're starting out reading 3-letter words, and now we're reading big words. So our horse has to have the mental and emotional maturity to handle the increased levels of pressure points that are affected in a shank bridle. Let's talk about the pressure points. We have the roof of the mouth, as we saw, is engaged. Depending on the size of the port, how much it is engaged. We have the curb, or the chin strap, and we have also the bars of the mouth. We have the shank of the mouth. So there's a lot of positioning in that horse's mouth that horse needs to become comfortable with that bit, right? So we do not want to just throw a new bit in their mouth, right? And also we want to learn how to tell how severe a bit is, which I will still go to. But so here we are. We got our young horse, and we're in a shank bridle, and we're asking him to yield to that pressure. So we're going to correctly work our hands, and we're going to ask them to bridle their head. And that means that our direction of pull is going to change from that snaffle. A snaffle, again, had my direction of pull here, or here, a direct rein here, very basic and elementary and simple. Turn, I'm going to pull your head this way. Stop, I'm going to draw back. Back, I'm going to back you and keep pulling, right? In a shank bit, though, we're going to ask our bit to help us do the work. And we're going to bump or flutter, and we're going to ask this horse to bridle their head, but our direction of pull needs to be different. So I'm going to go into that for just a minute. And before I go into direction of pull, I want to quickly show you the difference on the severity of a bit.
Hi, I'm Dana Hokana. Knowledge correctly applied is powerful and can transform you and your horse. Team Hokana Video Club gives you the knowledge and shows you how to apply it. Over 200 online training videos to help you in your daily workout with your horse, and new ones being released monthly. My goal is to help you transform your riding and your horse's performance. Join our team today. Go to Hokana.com.